I just don't understand. Why can't things just stay the same? No matter what I do, no matter how hard I try, I just can't save it. Keep it the way it was.
I'm coming up behind you, and I didn't want to startle you. You sound upset. Is everything okay?
I've been nursing this tree for a long time, and it seems that no matter what I do, I can't make it healthy again, like the way it used to be. In fact, I'm afraid it might not survive. I'm doing everything exactly the same way I always have for years. I just don't understand why my tree isn't growing. It isn't thriving anymore.
I understand your concern. That's a lot of time and energy you have invested. Do you know why it's not responding anymore?
I really don't. But it's not even the time or energy I've put into it. I love this tree. I know that sounds weird or strange, but it's true. I've poured my heart and soul into this tree, nurtured it, fertilized it, invested in it. I feel as though I've let it down in some way.
I'm wondering, and please don't be offended, but I'm wondering, do you think perhaps it's time to care for your tree in a new and different way? You may not realize it, but it needs to have changed. Everything has changed.
But it's the same tree. It's the same soil, same fertilizer, the same pot. Nothing's changed. Everything's still the same.
But something has changed. Just imagine for a moment if you did something different. If you gave it a fresh start, trimmed it a little here, unbound its roots a bit. Imagine the possibilities. No longer a tree in a pot, but a tree in a garden. A flowering tree, a tree with fruit, maybe a tree in a forest.
I don't know. I've cared for it for so long in exactly the same way, and all this time it has looked the very same.
Until now its leaves are falling off and its branches are drooping.
I know. I just want it to look the way it used to. I'm not sure I can begin to imagine it looking any differently. I have to admit, I'm afraid to do anything differently.
Afraid? But its roots will have more room. The soil will be fresh. Why are you afraid?
What if it dies? I've been thinking what you said, about a fresh start. For my tree, I mean.
By the looks of it, you're no longer just digging around the roots of your tree. What you're imagining.
Well, I thought I would take the tree out of the pot and plant it in the ground like you suggested, and maybe plant some flowers around it, different colors and kinds, maybe even another tree.
Look out. God is on the loose and in the garden once again.
God?
Yes, the one who imagined the unimaginable, who made the sun and the moon and the stars, the one who burst the bounds of death and is on the loose in the garden again.
But all I did was unbind the roots of my tree, plant some flowers.
You set it free. Imagine the possibilities. Began to create something new.
It's really quite exciting. I've been looking at catalogs and gardening books, thinking of making the garden even larger, putting in some bushes and perhaps a fountain, a place for birds and butterflies.
A resurrection garden.
God on the loose, striding free and majestic as God has always done. inviting us, summoning us, challenging us to imagine the unimaginable, to resurrect from the old something new again.
Hey, I haven't been in here for a while. Your garden looks great. You must feel really good now that it's finally finished.
Well, it's funny you should say that. Creating this little garden was really quite life-giving. And after I planted the last of the flowers, I thought I was finished. But now I don't think I'm finished. Not quite, anyway.
But it looks finished, at least as much as a garden can be finished. What happened?
Easter. Wouldn't you know it? Easter happened.
Easter?
Yes, Jesus standing in a garden, resurrected and unrecognizable. What looked like an ending was really a new beginning. A new and transformed life blossomed in the garden on that first Easter morning. And not just for Jesus, but for Mary as well.
But I don't understand. What does that have to do with your tree or this garden?
God is on the loose and in the garden once again. Remember? And not only that, God is making all things new, transforming endings into new beginnings. I was so afraid that it was an ending for my tree. But with imagination and your encouragement, my little lifeless tree was transformed into this garden. A new beginning. But now I realize it doesn't end here.
I suspect it doesn't end here because it is actually the beginning of something else, right?
Ah, quite right. God is making all things new, taking what seemed lifeless and resurrecting it, transforming it.
But I still don't understand. What are you thinking?
Not just thinking, imagining. I'm imagining a garden where others can come, creating a place so vibrant and vital that everyone who comes to it will be renewed and refreshed, transformed in some way.
A garden where life-giving water flow and trees of every kind grow.
Yes, a garden that will feed those who are hungry and heal those who are hurting, the bruised and the broken ones.
A sacred sanctuary of life and light, of health and wholeness and healing.
Truly a resurrection garden. But even in my wildest imaginings, I know that creating it is beyond my abilities.
But with God, all things are possible.
Yes, with God, all things are possible. But God needs our help as well. And I need your help. I can't create this new garden alone.
Well, you're in luck. I've got my wheelbarrow, a spade in the truck, and I brought my working gloves. And don't forget, I do belong to the United Horticultural Society, as I know a lot of really imaginative, hardworking, and talented folks.
Oh my, did you feel that breeze? God is on the loose and in the garden once again.
God's resurrection garden.